Welcome to Pillowside Night Stories. You're here now. You made it through the day. Before we go anywhere tonight, let's slow everything down together. Right now, you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to answer anyone. You don't have to be on. This time is just for you. Feel your body where you are. Let your head be heavy on the pillow. Let your jaw soften so your teeth are not pressing together anymore. Let your shoulders drop just a little. You've been holding them up all day without even noticing. You can let them fall. If your hands are tense, you can loosen your fingers and let them rest wherever they want. On your blanket, on your stomach, tucked under your cheek. However it feels easy. Take a slow breath in, nice and gentle, and let it go. You don't have to breathe deeply or perfectly, just softer than before. Your only job right now is to feel safe enough to rest. You've already done enough for today, more than enough. You are allowed to stop, and tonight I'll sit with you. I'll talk to you in a calm, quiet voice, and I'll walk you through a peaceful place, a tiny 24-hour bookshop on a snowy street, where the lamps are warm and the night is kind. If this little corner makes you feel cared for, if you like having a voice that's here for you at the end of the day, you're welcome to come back every night. You can stay with us again easily. Just tap subscribe and turn on the little bell so you can always find your way back to Pillowside Night Stories whenever you need rest. You don't have to do it right now. You don't have to move at all if you're already cozy. Just know that this place is yours and it will be waiting for you. Now, let's go to the bookshop. Outside, it's a winter night. The old stone street is quiet. Snow is falling in slow, soft flakes, the kind that seem to float more than fall, drifting under old street lamps that glow a buttery gold. There's a tiny bookshop on the corner, in a building that's a little bit crooked, like it's been here for 100 winters, and decided that being perfect wasn't important. Through the front window, you can see light. Not bright light, not harsh white, but warm lamplight, honey-colored, safe. The door is still open, even though it's sometime after midnight. There's a little handwritten sign that says, in neat looping pen strokes, "Open all night, warm inside." And we're going to step in there together and stay a while. Let's go in. The bell above the door makes the softest little ring as you push it open. Not a sharp ring, more like 2 teaspoons gently touching. Inside, everything feels instantly warmer. The air smells faintly of old paper and cinnamon orange tea, the kind of tea that makes your hands warm when you wrap your palms around the mug. There's a standing lamp with a fabric shade in the corner, next to a deep reading chair with cushions that look like they've been loved for years. The light from that lamp spills onto a low round table where 3 books are open, face down, with bookmarks peeking out like little flags. On the left, against the wall, there's a tall bookshelf that leans ever so slightly forward, just enough to make it look like it's bowing politely to you. The shelves are full, not just with books, but also folded wool scarves, a few postcards, and a single jar of wrapped hard candies for anyone who wants one. And behind the counter, The wooden counter that still has faint coffee ring circles on its surface is Ada. Ada runs the overnight shift. She's not in a rush. She never is. She's in a big, soft sweater, the kind you pull on because it's not fashionable, but it is warm. And at this hour, warm easily beats fashionable. Her hair is tied back in a loose knot, and there's a pencil tucked behind her ear. She's got a mug of that cinnamon orange tea sitting beside the old register, and little curls of steam are drifting up from it in slow ribbons. On a hook behind her, there's a dark wool coat dripping melted snow onto a mat. She must have just come in from checking the street. You hear the door click shut behind you, and suddenly the outside world is muted. The snow, the wind, the distant hum of the city night. All of it goes soft, like someone put a blanket over the whole town. Ada looks up at you and smiles in that way that says, without needing any big words, "Oh, good. You made it in. You're safe now." There's no pressure here. No, "Can I help you find anything specific?" No sales pitch. Instead, she says, in a gentle, cozy voice, "Take your time. Warm up first." She nods toward a short radiator under the front window. It's humming softly, not too loud, just enough to fill the silence with a steady, even warmth. You can feel it. You can actually feel the difference from outside. Your cheeks, still cool from the snow-dusted air, start to thaw. Ada reaches under the counter and brings out a second mug. It doesn't match the first one. None of the mugs in this shop match. They're all collected over years. This one is slightly chipped at the rim, but in a familiar way, like it's a favorite. She pours hot water from a little kettle, and instantly the sweet citrus spice scent of the tea blooms in the air. "There," she says softly. "Hands first. Once your hands are warm, the rest of you follows." You wrap both hands around the mug. Even if you're just imagining it, you can feel the heat start to sink into your fingers, then into your wrists, and then up your forearms. Ada leans one elbow on the counter. It's late, but she doesn't look tired in a frantic way. It's more like she's settled into the quiet of the hour. "This time of night," she murmurs, "is when the city finally exhales." Behind you, the shelves creak quietly as the building settles. Somewhere, a page turns itself in the draft. You can hear the tiniest clink of sleet against the front window. Just a little, and then it fades back into hush. Across the room, in the big reading chair, there is already someone half asleep. Mr. Ellis. He's here almost every night. He's wearing a thick cardigan and a long scarf wrapped around twice, like he started wrapping it and got distracted halfway through a story. He has a folded newspaper on his lap. His chin is tucked toward his chest. His glasses have slid down just a little. Ada whispers, smiling. He said he was only going to sit for a minute. You both know he's been napping there for 40. There is zero judgment in her voice, only fondness. That quiet fondness you hear when someone talks about a friend they've known for years. You take a slow breath in. The bookshop smells like wood, tea, and a hint of winter air still clinging to your coat. This place is safe. This place is warm. Nothing urgent can get to you in here. Ada refills her own mug. sets the kettle back on its trivet, and then settles on a tall stool behind the counter. "So," she says, keeping her voice low, mostly because she doesn't want to wake Mr. Ellis. "It's a quiet night. Snow, but not a storm. I've stacked the poetry shelves. I've dusted the travel books. I've fixed the wobbly table leg near the history corner. And now," she tilts her head toward you, "now we just keep each other company." Her tone makes it sound like the simplest, most natural thing in the world. Outside, flakes of snow continue their slow, patient fall. Your shoulders drift a little lower. Your jaw gets a little softer, and the warmth in your hands spreads. You are here. You don't have to do anything else. You're allowed to rest. The door gives that tiny chime again. Ada glances up, already smiling. "Rose," she whispers. Rose steps in from the snow, brushing at her coat sleeves. She's wearing a wool hat that has, without question, seen many winters. There are little snow crystals caught in the fibers, sparkling under the lamplight. She closes the door gently behind her, and for a moment, you get one more breath of the outside night. Crisp, cold, tasting like fresh air and chimney smoke. Then the latch catches and the bookshop goes soft again. Rose rubs her hands together for warmth, then laughs quietly and shakes her head. "Still open," she says. "Of course you are," Ada answers, mock formal. "Open all night, ma'am, warm inside." They both smile. There's history in that smile. You can feel it, even if you weren't here for all the winters before this one. This is a ritual. Rose comes in, Ada pretends to be official, and the two of them stand there in the little island of lamplight, thawing out while the rest of the city sleeps. Rose reaches into the deep pocket of her coat and pulls out a small paper-wrapped bundle tied with red cotton string. "For you," she says softly. Ada blinks. "What's this?" Rose shrugs, as if it's nothing at all, which means it's absolutely something. It's just, well, nights are getting colder, and I know you never remember gloves until your hands are already freezing. Ada unties the red string and unfolds the paper. Inside are a pair of hand-knit fingerless gloves, the kind that keep your palms and wrists warm, but still let you turn pages, handle books, write receipts, pour tea. They're a deep, calming blue, with tiny flecks of lighter yarn, like little sparks of frost. Ada actually gasps. "Rose," she whispers, because anything louder would wake Mr. Ellis. Rose shrugs again, like, no big deal. Ada pulls them on immediately. They fit perfectly. Of course they fit perfectly. Rose knows exactly how Ada's hands move, because she's watched her work at this counter night after night, year after year. You can see Ada flex her fingers and then press her palms around her mug. And there's this tiny, content sigh from her, like warmth is finally sinking where she needed it. Rose leans one hip against the counter and looks at you with friendly curiosity. Not the nosy kind, but the gentle kind that says, "Oh, hello, new person in our quiet little world. First night in the bookshop," she says quietly. Ada answers for you with a soft smile. "First real night." Rose nods, approving. "Good. Everybody should have a place like this, when their brain won't shut off." She unwraps her own scarf, and under it, she's wearing another soft sweater. And under that, maybe yet another layer. She's basically made of wool and kindness. Ada pours her tea without asking. They've clearly done this many, many times. Rose warms her hands on the mug and exhales through her nose, slow. There's an ease in the air between them. You feel it settle into your own body, like someone draped another blanket over you. Ada says quietly, "Remember last winter when the power flickered and half the street came in here with candles?" Rose smiles. "You made hot orange tea on that little camping stove." Ada laughs under her breath. "That kettle nearly gave up on me." Rose, "But nobody froze." Ada, "Nobody froze." They share a look that says everything. "We take care of each other." Rose turns back to you. "That's what this place is," she says, gentle. "It's the light that stays on while you calm down. No questions asked." Ada pretends to protest. "We ask one question," she says. "We ask how you take your tea." Rose grins. "True. Your eyelids feel heavier. Not tired, safe tired. Outside, you can hear the faintest scrape of the broom as someone down the block quietly sweeps snow away from a doorstep, even though it will just drift back again. Inside, the radiator hums its steady hum. Mr. Ellis in the armchair shifts a little and sighs in his sleep. Rose watches Ada pull those new gloves tighter around her wrists. "I'm glad your hands are warm," she says softly. And Ada answers, "They are now." No drama, no crisis, just proof that someone thought of someone else. In your chest, something lets go. That knot you've been keeping there all day just eases. You don't have to hold yourself up alone. Not tonight. Much later, or maybe not that much later, time softens in here. Ada moves to the big wooden table near the back. The table is old. The varnish is rubbed smooth in places where people have rested their forearms and elbows for years and years. There are tiny nicks along the edge where someone must have once cut twine, or opened boxes, late into 100 different nights, just like this one. On top of the table tonight is something special. Not cookies, not fudge, paper. Stacks of thick, cream-colored cards, all blank and waiting. Small jars of fountain pens with dark blue ink. Short lengths of deep red ribbon. Little brass seals, each with a tiny symbol carved into the bottom. A star, a moon, a branch, a tiny lantern. Ada calls it the wish table. Rose calls it our winter tradition. All night, and all week, honestly, people wander in from the snow and sit at this table. They tuck their cold hands under their arms. They breathe. And then, eventually, when they're ready, they write down a wish. Not a wish like a movie wish. No, I want a castle. No, I want to be famous. The wishes in this shop are quieter. I want to sleep through the night without worry. I want my sister to feel less lonely. I want it to snow on my day off. I want to keep this calm feeling for longer than 5 minutes. Ada never reads them out loud unless the person wants her to. Some people tie their card with ribbon and hang it on the little iron tree she's set up. A branch-like stand in the corner with curved hooks like tiny arms. Other people fold the card and slip it under a book on the shelf. where only they'll know it's there. Tonight, the door chimes again, and a family steps in. 2 tired parents and 2 absolutely bundled up small twins, cheeks pink from the cold, hats slipping over their eyebrows. Ada instantly turns the kettle back on. The twins are quiet, and you can tell this isn't forced politeness. It's that deep, nighttime quiet little kids get when it's way past their bedtime. And the world feels magical because it's not their usual schedule. One of them, with a puffy blue hat, is carrying a little plush animal in one mittened hand. The plush is damp at the ears from snowflakes. Ada kneels down to eye level and says gently, "Would you like to help us decorate the wish tree tonight?" The child blinks at her, very seriously, like this is a sacred assignment. Rose is already at the table, tying a bow of red ribbon around one of the cards. Her fingers are gentle and practiced. She's humming under her breath, a slow, tuneless hum that sounds almost like the radiator. The parents sink into 2 chairs, with that exact exhausted posture of people who have been on duty all day and are finally allowed to sit down. Ada pours something warm, not strong tea, just warm water with a curl of orange peel and a drizzle of honey, into little mugs for the twins. The little one in the blue hat presses both hands around the mug and stares at the steam like it's a tiny campfire. You sit nearby and watch. No one hurries. No one says, "Okay, write your wish fast. We have to go. We're late." There's no late here. Time doesn't boss anyone around in this bookshop. One of the twins leans forward on tiptoes and whispers into Rose's ear. Rose nods like she's just been given a top secret mission. She writes something carefully, slowly, in looping letters that match the child's quiet little voice. Then the other twin decides they too have a wish. Ada hands them a pen that's almost comically big in their mittened hand. The pen dots. The handwriting is wiggly. The ink blotches once in the corner. Ada treats it like it's the most important document anyone's signed all year. When each wish is finished, Ada and Rose help tie the ribbon through a tiny punched hole. The twins, together, lift their arms high, and Ada bends the little iron tree toward them, so they can hang the notes on a low branch. The tags sway a little in the warm air, a tiny forest of quiet hopes. The parents close their eyes for a moment. You can see, just in their faces, that this is the first real stillness they've had all day. Mr. Ellis, half asleep in the armchair, shifts and mumbles something that sounds like, beautiful tradition. Rose very softly laughs. The radiator hums. The kettle ticks. The snow taps the window. Ada says, not just to the children, but sort of to all of you, whatever you wished for, this room is holding it for you tonight. Your whole chest softens at that. You feel your own inner voice, the one that's been racing all day, begin to slow down, like a spinning top losing speed. You lean back. Your eyelids are heavier now. Your breathing is slower, without you even trying. You are being kept company. You're not alone in your thoughts tonight. It's late. How late? In this place that doesn't really matter. But if we peek at the little brass clock on the counter, the one with a tiny crack in the glass near the 2, it says 3:17 a.m. Most of the city is asleep. Out on the street, the snow has softened every edge. Parked cars have smooth, rounded tops. The stone steps across the road look like they've been frosted with sugar. The world is muted. Even sound itself feels like it's moving slower through the air. Inside the bookshop, the lamps are lower now. Ada has turned off the overhead track lights, leaving only the soft pools of glow from the table lamps and the old floor lamp by Mr. Ellis's chair. Rose has curled up in a different chair now, her boots kicked off and tucked under her wool hat tossed onto a stack of travel guides. The twins are asleep in their parents' laps, heads heavy on shoulders, little knit hats sliding sideways, mouths slightly open in the absolute, total trust of deep sleep. The parents themselves are in that half-dream state, breathing slow, eyes closed, no longer trying to stay alert. Mr. Ellis is fully gone, his newspaper sliding down toward the floor, his scarf bunched like a pillow. In the hush, you can hear all the quiet textures of the room, the faint tick of metal, as the radiator cools and warms, cools and warms. The softest whisper of paper from a page that turns somewhere by itself in a moving draft. The tiniest clink of ceramic as the kettle settles on its stand. Ada walks to the front window. She doesn't rush. She never rushes. Her new fingerless gloves, the ones Rose made, hug her wrists, and you can see how grateful her hands are to be warm now. She looks out at the empty street, at the gold glow spilling onto the snow through the bookshop glass. From the outside, the place must look like a lantern, a safe light. She reaches up and with a practiced little motion, flips the cardboard sign on the inside of the door. It still says, "Open all night, warm inside." But now, beneath that, she's carefully tucked a handwritten note just for tonight. Wishes hanging in the reading corner. Help yourself to warmth. It's not a sales pitch. It's a reassurance. Ada turns back to the room and for a moment just looks. You can feel what she feels. These people here, sleeping in chairs and holding cooling mugs. This is her favorite part of the job, this exact calm, this proof that in the middle of winter, in the middle of night, in the middle of a world that can be so loud and demanding and fast, there is still a pocket of kindness where nobody has to perform or hurry or explain why they're tired. Ada moves softly between the chairs. She drapes a folded wool throw, a deep green one that smells faintly like cedar, over the twins and their parents. She doesn't wake them. She just tucks the blanket around their legs, so the draft from the door won't reach them. She straightens Mr. Ellis's scarf, so it cushions the back of his neck. She nudges Rose's dropped hat a little closer to her chair in case she wants it the moment she stirs. Then she comes back to you. Not literally, but in the way voices in stories can walk right up beside you and sit down at the edge of your pillow. "Hey," she says, soft enough that it barely disturbs the air. "You did enough today." Her voice is calm and certain. "You made it here. That's already more than most people will ever know. You're allowed to rest now. You're allowed to stop carrying everything for a little while. Outside, snowflakes drift in lazy spirals. Inside, the room holds steady. If you'd like, she breathes, you can close your eyes now. You don't have to listen to the rest. I'll stay. I'll keep watch. I'll keep the lamps low and the kettle warm and the door locked against the cold. You can let go. I'll be here. You can picture the bookshop around you like a blanket the size of an entire room. Lamplight tucked around your shoulders. The faint smell of tea and paper settling over you like quiet snowfall. Your breathing has become slow and soft. Your jaw is easy. Your shoulders are heavy against whatever you're resting on. There is no rush. There is no demand. There is only this warm little corner of the night that decided to stay awake for you. Gently, patiently, without asking for anything back. In the front window, the sign still glows in soft pen strokes. Open all night, warm inside. You are safe here. You can sleep now.